Hi, Michelle Wennis with Loving Through the Pink. I wanted to share my experience with going to my first therapy session since being diagnosed with and healed of cancer. I learned a lot, and I realized that I have a lot of rules that I set up for myself, and I have certain formulas that in my head keep me safe. So if I do things a certain way and properly, then I will be more likely to have a certain outcome. And so as a woman of faith, this is sort of a stumbling block for me because it doesn't really speak to having complete faith. But I wanted to let you know that I've been on a pretty interesting path with my faith. I grew up in a certain denomination, and unfortunately, we weren't attending a very strong church, and it became more of a task, and there really wasn't a whole lot of Holy Spirit that I felt in that place, and so it didn't leave a very good impression upon me. I just look back and remember money requests and certain mannerisms that our priest would fall into regularly that would make my brothers and I sort of snicker because it was sort of strange. But it wasn't a very powerful experience at all, certainly not in a positive way. I left the church, but sort of became an explorer of what was out there, and I wasn't cool with letting people know that at college I would actually sneak into different chapels and different kinds of churches just to get a feel for, okay, so maybe this religion thing is not for me, but maybe there is a way to still connect with God. I always felt that He was there regardless of where I was. And over the years, I found that, especially after we had children, that it was important for me to set up some kind of foundation. There were many dark days. As a teenager, you can fall into some twisty chapters in your life as you sort of process everything that's going on, changes. And depending on your upbringing or your family life or the friends that surround you, it's harder or easier on some of us than others. And some of us are more resilient at different times in our lives. And so I found that having a belief in God at least would keep me from doing anything too dangerous or unhealthy. So I wanted that for my kids. We ended up going to a few different churches, and some of them were really great places to meet very nice people. But you get really busy as a parent, and you don't even have time for your friends whom you've been wanting to stay in touch with, college friends, childhood friends, and the special people at work that you might want to see once in a while. So I found it was sort of more tedious, just another place sometimes to just meet friends that you can't really spend time with. And that's not what I was looking for. I was really looking to understand, okay, if I'm going to do this Christianity thing, that's my dog. If I'm going to do this Christianity thing, then I need to know what it's about. So at the end of the day, the Bible is a big part of that. And so I started really delving into that. I joined a Bible study group, and I really embraced it. It helped me get into the Word. It helped me interpret certain things. And I was feeling on my own also. No one was really speaking to me directly about ideas or concepts, but I felt like God was being very clear with me, even directing my path in my career, and having me walk away from a very comfortable very beloved work situation that I'd set up for myself. So the point is, I still carried with me all these rules that were kind of formulaic from the first denomination that I belonged to. And it's not that there was something wrong with that denomination. It's the way I processed the information. It was, again, if you do this, then you go to heaven. If you do this, you go to hell. So, that really made a big impression on me. And there were times I felt, oh my gosh, I'm going to hell. And I can't even talk to anybody about this. This is so distressing. So a little traumatic for me at times. And the truth is, we all make decisions. Some of them we're proud of and some we're not. So some of them harm us in more ways than we realize, and we carry that with us for a long time. And some of us are blessed from those mistakes. So in any case, even now, even with my desire to be as close to the Lord as possible, I have trouble because I'm a very touchy-feely person, and what I wanted to share today would be somewhat controversial to some people, especially the more legalistic. And in Christianese, that means, being more focused on the rules than on the person sometimes. You get so caught up in the law of things that you take for granted loving the person in front of you. So that's the easiest way to explain that. So I've enjoyed some things in my life that I feel are from the Lord, so essential oils being one of them. And they have different properties, supposedly for emotional healing and physical support, mental support. And I've always kind of struggled with whether or not these were things I should be playing with. But the truth of the matter is, they smell great. I have seen them work very well. And the focus that I've had is always on thanking God for them as tools. I think the danger would be if I start thinking these things in and of themselves are incredibly healing beings or objects. I think God gives everything He created a characteristic that is there to bless. But because we're in a fallen world and it's not a perfect world, some of those characteristics can be misused. And so I continue to use essential oils, but there's something that I started applying to my connecting with God, and it has to do with a flaw of mine. Jesus, God, Holy Spirit are in the air to me. Again, being a touchy-feely person, I can talk to Jesus, but it's so much more helpful to hold someone, his or her hand. That's how I connect. So I ended up purchasing this. It's a rose quartz stone. I purchased it from a friend of mine. Now, she is also, I think, faithful on her own path, but a faithful woman. And she uses essential oils like I have, but she also makes jewelry. And so this little heart is something that I feel is quite a gift from God, because what I do is I hold it in my hand. When I'm driving, I have it in my car. And this feels so nice. It fits right in the palms when I hold them together. And I can speak to Jesus without holding this, but when I hold it, I feel like I'm holding his hand. And I say to him, I know, Lord, that this is no power in and of itself apart from you, but I thank you for being able to help me feel like I'm holding your hand as I'm placing this in mine. So that's where I am with this, and I feel really happy when I see it, and I say, ooh, I suppose it would be like some people wearing a cross or some other symbol that connects them or reminds them about their faith. But for me, just holding it in my hand feels really, really good, and it's supposed to have some properties that I think I could use right now. So there are a few different things rose quartz is known for. It's great specifically for love and emotional healing. So as we know, when you have had a breast cancer blip, as I like to call it, in your life, it's sort of an awakening or a death or both. And you really can't have one without the other, whether it's a divorce or a career change or an illness. These are all little deaths, and we have this opportunity to sit at the crossroads and move forward from there with new eyes, or to just let it destroy us. Or if the Lord is calling you home and it's an illness, then it's a way to meet him again. So my friend also makes these other things. She makes bracelets, she makes necklaces, and it makes me feel good to hold them. There are 3 different kinds that I got. I purchased them from her. They're separate. This has lava rocks on it. 2 over here, 2 over here, and let me tell you a little bit about the stones. This is rhodonite, so I liked it because it's pink. Figures, right? Good for mental balance, memory, and attention to detail. Great for calming, self-esteem, and making music. I'm a musician. I'm a singer. I never considered myself a real one because I haven't trained in it, but I do believe and thank the Lord that I have a gift for having a fairly easy voice to listen to when I do sing. But I've been shying away from it, and also a little bit busy with the cancer. But I do feel this is kind of appropriate. If there are meanings behind these stones that are helpful, without forgetting that the Lord created them and that they are nothing without his power, I got it and I use it. So I use different oils. I like to use sandalwood a lot, and the brand I use, by the way, is doTERRA essential oils. So sandalwood will go on the lava rocks. If I really want a lot of it, then I'll put it on this bracelet, which has more lava rocks. And just to give you an idea, we have some emotional descriptions for sandalwood. It assists with all kinds of prayer, meditation, and spiritual worship. Mine would be Christianity. It teaches reverence and respect for deity. It's been used since ancient times for its powerful ability to calm the mind, still the heart, and prepare the spirit to commune with God. I don't need to have a bracelet for me to do that, right? If you're familiar at all with Christianity, there's Jesus who died on the cross so that we wouldn't have to go through all these hoops to commune with God. But if in fact these truly are the gifts that he is sending through these, then why not? Plus it's really pretty. So this is also rose quartz. And then these are the lava rocks. So the other bracelet that I have, oh, you know what? I forgot to describe the black pieces here. These are onyx. And according to my friend's tag, onyx brings luck and happiness. Okay, this is a little corny, but instead of saying good luck in my family, I tend to say good luck. I'm into rules, and so I really like to try and walk the straight and narrow if I have an opportunity. I'm sure God's working on it so that I can relax a little bit. But it brings luck and happiness, good for decision making, and helps with grief and balance. Why would this be important when you have experienced breast cancer? Because it really sucks. You know, like it really, on so many levels, just it's taking the rug from underneath you. And, you know, if you're resistant to change because you love to control situations, it is really hard. But it has been an incredible lesson in letting go of so many things. And I've mentioned before, things that haven't served me. So So where would that leave me? Yeah, wanting to know what's next. What's next for me? What do I do? Do I take on this thing? Do I let this go? You know what? I know God's got me, but I still like my little bracelets. And that's okay. You have to believe that God is with you. As you're intentionally seeking him out, he is with you. So, lava rocks, grounding. Yeah, I've always been up in the air in my head. So, hey, I welcome some grounding. I wanted to be able to share my friend's site. This is, I didn't realize it until now. She texted me the name. This is called the I Am Woman bracelet. And, you know, oh, the tags are so sweet, the tags that she makes. So this is her business. Firefly Hollow Designs. And then these are the little descriptions in the back sheet. You're not going to see that, but she just does such a nice job with them, and some of them come in these cute little bags. So let's look up this little design here. So, okay. If you bear with me, here we go. This is her site. Will I be able to share? Yes, excellent. So her site is here. It's Firefly Hollow Designs, and this is the bracelet that I got. Lava, sterling silver, amethyst, moonstone, rose quartz, jade. So let's talk about these. Amethyst, a wonderful stone for emotional and hormone balance. It also aids with decision-making and coping with change. Amethyst is also known for enhancing the energy of other crystals. Don't know anything about that. Not worshiping the crystals, so not worried about it. Moonstone, an incredibly valuable stone for women, aids in regulating hormones and menstrual cycles, as well as eases menopausal systems. How perfect. I'm on tamoxifen. That's one of the side effects of tamoxifen, is having premenopausal side effects. Plus, it turns out my mom also shared that she was early in her premenopause stages. Helps reduce period pains and PMS, assists women through fertility, pregnancy, and childbirth. My whole life before all of this, for the last, since 2004, has been prenatal, baby and me, childbirth. I mean, hello. and this bracelet, by the way, just kind of fell in my lap. I didn't look for it, so I thank you, God, for putting it in my lap. It also brings balance and promotes a youthful appearance. Why not? I'll take it. Rose quartz enhances female energy, aids in fertility, and helps with regulating menstrual cycles. So this is a little bit more on rose quartz. It's a little different from what I read earlier. It also is a stone of love and forgiveness. Boy, I could use a lot of that. I have not been very nice to myself over the last how many years. I've been giving and giving and pouring and empty and replenishing with nothing, and so I like that. Jade aids with emotional balance and confidence. Everything is new, and a lot of things are scary. I'm eager, but I'm nervous. So, hey, it has a positive effect on the female reproductive system while helping to ease period pain and PMS. Lava helps with grounding. So this is her site. She makes beautiful things, and I like them a lot. So check out my friend Ashley's store on Etsy. Okay, now I'm going to stop the share. So, as a Christian, as someone who has just gone through one of the most boggling and confusing yet powerful experiences of her life, I tell you that there are certain things that will help us. And I say go for it. Just don't confuse the created from the creator. That would be the message for me. You can believe whatever you want, because I certainly wouldn't have wanted anyone to tell me what to believe at any time. But these little things, this is not This is not God. But I know he's gentle with me. And because these help me, especially in trying moments, because there are really trying moments, you know, you're pretty normal, and then you're like, what just happened? I've mentioned that in other videos. It really plays with your head, your heart and mind. But these little helpers, just like therapist, social worker, I thank God for all of them. And I guess that's it. So this is what I wanted to share with you before about how I can connect with God a little more tangibly. And it is sort of like doubting Thomas, you know. If you don't know the Bible, he was the poor guy who will be remembered forever for saying, well, I'll believe it when I see it, Jesus. He had to touch Jesus's hands when he was resurrected with holes in order to believe that he came back. So I don't need this to believe in God, but I do feel like it's like holding his hand. That's it for today. Connecting with the Creator through all this. Michelle Wennis, Loving Through the Pink. Check out my friend's site, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.